before we come.
And breaking tonight, the celebration galas and balls are in full swing after one very historic day. Donald J. Trump again taking the oath of office, officially sworn in as the 47th president of the United States. Trump also signing dozens upon dozens of executive orders, both in front of a packed arena this afternoon and back at the White House a bit later. And he took more questions in 1 hour than Joe Biden took in, I don't know, maybe years. Meantime, President Biden at the 11th hour of his presidency pardoning 5 members of his family. Critics say the move is a permanent stain on his legacy. Even Democrats are deeply disappointed. But tonight, the 3 inaugural balls throughout the nation's capital sharing their first dance just minutes ago. And we have Team Fox coverage across Washington. Matt Finn live at the Starlight Ball. Nate Foy live on Capitol Hill. But we begin with Kevin Corke. He is live at the Commander-in-Chief Ball where President Trump just finished speaking. Kevin, good evening.
What a night, Trace. You know, I've had a chance to cover so many inaugural balls going all the way back to George W. Bush, but this was truly unique. Now, absolutely electric atmosphere. As you mentioned, the president and the first lady not long ago having a chance for their first dance as POTUS number 47 gets a chance to say thank you to the women and men of the armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the Space Force, and of course the Coast Guard as well. This was really a night, and Mark, go ahead and show them the crowd here. This was a night not just to celebrate what this means to this president, someone who relishes the role as commander-in-chief, but this was privates and specialists all the way up to flag officers, admirals, and generals to say thank you, Mr. Trump, for all you have done for the armed forces. It's no surprise, Trace, that this group in particular has an affection for this president, and he promised that with peace through strength, the best days are yet to come. Of course, we all got a chance to see Melania. I'm not going to get into the fashion of it all, but did the second lady at the Liberty Ball. Trace, back to you.
Yeah, and just to back you up, Kevin, I talked to some good sources who also said she looked amazing tonight. Kevin Corke live for us
she did.
at the Commander-in-Chief Ball. Kevin, thank you. As promised, in the hours after his inauguration, the president signed dozens of executive orders. And while he was in the Oval Office putting pen to many papers, Trump fielded questions on a wide range of topics from reporters, including our own senior White House correspondent, Peter Doocy.
Trace, President Trump says walking back into the Oval Office tonight brain about all these executive actions that he has taken today ahead of expected deportation raids tomorrow.
The cartels are now going to be seen as foreign terror organizations. Would you think about ordering U.S. Special Forces into Mexico to take them out?
Could happen. Stranger things have happened.
The bulkiest bunch of tonight's orders, pardons and commutations for 1,500 people convicted of crimes during the January 6th Capitol riot.
Well, I will say this. They've been in jail for a long time already. I see murderers in this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time. So they've already been in jail for a long time.
The press pool was let into the Oval Office only moments after Trump's return, and we learned he hadn't even had a chance to check for a long-standing tradition that presidents pass along to their successors.
President Trump did President Biden.
Wait, don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know. Oh.
What's in there?
Thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we got it. Wow. Thank you.
Can you read that on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that determination.
That sounds great.
Peter, thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
I did. I left him one in the desk just like this.
We still haven't seen the letter, but President Trump revealed that in the limo to the Capitol today, he and President Biden talked about unifying the country. He says that President Biden did not give him a heads up that he was issuing pardons for several members of his family. Trace.
Peter Doocy, the White House. Peter, thank you. Well, before Peter's extended Q&A with President Trump tonight and the glitz and glamour of the inaugural balls, there was the important business of swearing in Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States. Nate Foy is live with the highlights of that. Nate, good evening.
Hey, Trace, good evening. A historic victory for President Donald Trump, and he says that we are on the verge of the greatest 4 years in our country's history. He says it's the beginning of a golden age. Take a look at the moment that he took the oath of office, administered by Chief Justice John Roberts. And this moment, Trace, completes a stunning political comeback with legal cases and 2 assassination attempts, and Trump reflected on that during his inaugural address.
My life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great.
The U.S. out of the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accord. Now, the president also promised to send American astronauts to Mars, much to the delight of Elon Musk, and he signed executive orders proclaiming that the federal government only recognizes two sexes, male and female, and he is ending DEI programs within the federal government. We'll send it back to you, Trace.
Nate Foy live for us near the Capitol. Nate, thank you. Let's bring in California GOP Chairwoman Jessica Milan-Patterson, Fox News contributor Steve Hilton, and Axiom Strategies' Aaron Perini. Thank you all for coming on. Jessica, great dress. You look nice down there. You look the gala kind of thing going on here. You're the farthest away, so you're the first question.
Lay broken and seemingly in complete disrepair. We now have a government that cannot manage even a simple crisis at home.
The forgotten man and woman. And we're seeing Americans all over our country. They want someone who's going to rein in inflation. They want someone that's going to secure our border. They want someone that can manage a natural disaster, as we're seeing in California not happening. They want accountability for their government, and that's what they're going to get from a Trump-Vance administration.
He talked a lot of this in part. Watch.
National unity is now returning to America, and confidence and pride is soaring like never before. In everything we do, my administration will be inspired by a strong pursuit of excellence.
He said it before a lot of times, Steve. He's done. He's finished with this push for mediocrity.
Yes, but by the way, Trace, where's my compliment?
What?
Don't you think
Steve,
I look
you look
nice?
amazing.
Exactly.
I mean, my
Thank
goodness
you
gracious,
I
you
dressed
look
up
amazing.
just for you. Okay, so I just wanted to your question, I want to make a political point, but also a personal one. On the political front, and actually, funnily enough, speaking as a new American, someone who became an American citizen since the last inauguration of a president, this is the America that we signed up for. Those of us who came here and wanted to take part in the story of this great country, this a nation that has swagger and confidence and the energy that's been on display all through the weekend, but especially in that speech. It's so inspiring to everyone. Everyone's saying this phrase, America is back. Boy, is America back. So that's the political point. Just quickly on the personal front, I have to say, watching all of this and just thinking about what Donald Trump, as a person, has been through over the last few years and more, I just feel happy for him.
Yeah.
I really do, just on a human level. What an incredible fighter, what a fierce patriot, and I think he...
Federal government censorship of the American people. In America, we believe in free speech, and we're bringing it back starting today to stop the weaponization.
Novel concept. In America, we believe in free speech.
We believe in free speech, and we believe that the federal government should not be weaponized. Very good about how the success went today. He signed a slew of executive actions. He is turning the table now on energy, on the economy, on the border for the American people. He's taking a sledgehammer to D.C. and he's unapologetic about it, but he's doing it for the American people. And everything he has talked about, it's about getting government out of the way. So
into a border state, when places like Chicago and New York are buckling to the migrant situation, this is a huge problem, and Donald Trump knew it needed to be fixed on day one.
Yeah. So in December of 2020, as we all know, Joe Biden, he preemptively pardoned 5 members of his family, Steve, he preemptively pardoned 5 members of his family, but back in December of 2020, he was asked about that very thing, and he said this.
Does this concern you? All these preemptive pardons?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of...
It's a fitting end, actually, to what has been a lamentable presidency. I think he's destroying his reputation, such as it was, and I don't know. I just think it's almost not worth bothering with. He ends, as he has been throughout his career, a corrupt machine politician, doesn't really believe in anything other than his own political advancement. He's in it for what he can get out of it, and it's been true, what his family can get out of it. And people don't like hearing that, but it's true. All those people he pardoned today, they've all been enriching themselves. They've been exploiting public office for private, personal, financial gain. And that's why he's done this, because he knows they're guilty of it.
Jonathan Turley said the following about what Steve's talking about here. Biden has long exercised situational ethics. And with his powers coming to an end, the situation demanded that he cash out before his credit ended. In granting these pardons, Biden was seeking to protect not just his family, but also himself.